The four natural elements, earth, wind, fire, and water, are the foundation of 4eWinery in Mapleton.
We've got Greg and Lisa Cook with us today with 4eWinery. It's a local winery with just some amazing stuff. And welcome to the show. It's good to have you guys here.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you. So let's start with maybe talking about what 4eWinery is and where you guys are.
4eWinery. We are located just south of the Castleton exit in a historic farmstead there, and we found that property about 5 years ago and decided we wanted to share it with people. So we had a dream of building a winery using local fruits.
And is this the beginning? Because I was just visiting with you guys, and it looks like your grapes are really starting to take off.
They are. This is when they were budding out in the spring, and now they've grown. They grow really, really fast. So you'll see the growth really spread out quickly.
And what made you guys decide to kind of take what was starting as a passion into something where you wanted to share it with more people?
Well, I think we were a little crazy, and so that's where we started. But it's always been a passion of Greg's winemaking. He's been a home winemaker for about 20 years, and we decided maybe we should take the plunge and share it. We wanted to share it with everybody, so we bought this awesome farmstead. You can see the picture there, and we just wanted to share it with everybody else, so that's what we're doing.
And all the pictures, too, Lisa, they're coming from your phone camera.
Yes, they are.
That's a good
Thank
camera.
you, Apple.
So what made you, I mean, because obviously everyone thinks of Napa or France. No one really thinks of North Dakota and wine.
Exactly. There was actually a study some time ago where they did blind tasting for people to get the perception, and they put North Dakota on one label and California on another, the exact same wine, and the North Dakota wines were rated the lowest.
Wow.
So there's a bad, but to be honest, every state in the country now has wineries, and it's really growing across the country. And wine, if you go to the old country in Europe and France and everywhere else, wine is about place. It's about local, and so we want to express the local flavors. We don't want to make California wine, we want to make North Dakota wine.
So what makes North Dakota wine unique?
North Dakota products.
Which are, so let's go over some of them, because we have some of them here with us today.
So what doesn't die in North Dakota?
Rhubarb.
Rhubarb.
A lot of people have rhubarb.
Yes, rhubarb is one of the wonderful, the best non-grape wine I think that I made, and we make two styles. We make a dry style for a table wine and a sweeter style for those who like that traditional rhubarb flavor.
And then apples too. I mean, that's even coming from locally people who have extra apples on hand.
Absolutely. Most of the apples for this came from people's backyards in Fargo area.
So there we go, Chris, if you have an apple tree in your backyard.
Did you get to stomp on the apples?
Yeah, we do have a crusher. Yeah, that would be a little hard on your feet, I think.
I love the wraps too. Who made the covers?
I designed most of them. We have one special one, and this is our Bison Tail wine, which is a local artist, Barb Nagel from Moorhead, who did that watercolor painting.
Nice.
That's so cool. So let's talk about one of your favorites, because I know this is something you guys have mentioned. They're like your kids. You can't always pick one. But what are a lot of people usually drawn to when they come, since you guys have a dozen different wines? Yeah,
and the personal preference for wines varies a lot. So we have fruits and grapes from dry to sweet. So we make both the fruits and the grape wines on the drier side as well for those who like dry wines. And some people are surprised by that. But for the white wines, we have 3 white grape wines. And I think our sweet, tropical flavored Frontenac Gris is one of our best sellers this year. But I'm particularly fond of dry oak-aged red Cabernets and Bordeaux, so my Marquette grape wine is probably my favorite.
And where are you getting the wines from? You'd mentioned earlier off at camera, but where are they coming from?
The grapes, most of the grapes came from a grower in Erskine, Minnesota, and some of the other surrounding areas. Our vineyards hopefully will produce grapes from our estate this year. And then the fruits are from local, whoever has fruits around. Our Aronia berry comes from just down the street from us, where there's a new winery opening up this year called Rookery Rock Winery, and they have a fruit orchard there that we source their Aronia berries from.
Wow.
So what's been the most challenging thing about growing grapes in our area?
Well, 2 things. One is getting the good cold climate hardy varieties, and University of Minnesota has had a lot of success in that, and now NDSU is doing a lot of grape breeding research for that. The biggest challenge, I think, is spray drift from the neighboring farm fields. That's a big problem here, yes, the herbicide spray. So we fight that every year, but we're making it work.
We'll tell our weather people to keep the wind down.
Yeah,
We're in the opposite direction.
Here in the valley, of course, there's lots of agriculture and soybeans and corn and wheat, and and it's very windy, so that's a big problem. Grapes are very, very sensitive to herbicides.
Which one did you want us to try? Because
Well,
I
you're
know
wel-
you guys have you have a lot out here. We're not going to tempt them
Well,
all.
I never go anywhere without my trusty corkscrew. So
Smart man.
you're welcome to try any one. What would you like me to open? I know Chris probably would like the red wine.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I would
Yeah,
love to give that a shot.
Absolutely.
And Lisa, people can come and do taste testings with you guys and
Yes.
events and
Yes, we have the best guests in the world. We love to invite people to our winery and then come out and sit on the deck and enjoy a glass or bottle of wine.
Nice.
a glass or two
Yeah.
or 5.
And then we'll give you a ride home.
Do you have a place to sit out in that beautiful barn that you showed us, or where's? Thank you.
Yeah. So you guys have a deck attached to the old farmhouse
do.
that you turned into like your tasting room,
Yes,
right?
we do. Yes. Yep.
Since you're the expert, do you want to show us the correct tasting?
The correct tasting.
Yeah, how do we do this?
So wine is about the aromas, and that's why you want a glass that has a bit of a curve to it to keep the aromas in. You just give it a little swirl, fill that glass with aromas, smell it,
Look how fancy. One-handed.
and then sip it.
Ooh, that's nice. But there's a technique, because I heard you do the sip technique. What's the sip technique again?
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah, winemakers will suck in air when they sip
Ooh.
it to get that all over your mouth.
That's good.
But
I say just drink it.
Lisa's like, don't
So nice.
don't even waste
local
your time.
grape, full of cherry flavor. Actually, it has Pinot Noir as one of the grandparents for this grape.
Wow, it's really, really smooth. Thank you.
I love that what you said earlier too. You're like, I'm not a winemaker. I'm a fruit man.
A fruit guide, yes. So I think a lot of like the big wineries that produce millions of gallons, they try to make blends and consistent wines all the time. I'm about expressing the local flavors. So every year the fruit might actually come out different depending on the climate and the sun and how the growing season went. So I just let the fruit be the style it wants to be. I don't fight it.
Do you have any like vision of, okay, I've got these certain grapes, I'm going to let them sit for 5 years or anything like that you're thinking about? Or
Well, the grapes do take quite a long time before they start producing. So we had planted our vineyard 4 years ago, and it's in their 5th year now. And
wow.
they should be producing some grapes this year for the first time.
And that's something that's interesting too, is you guys told me that winemakers usually do their winemaking in the fall. You guys are doing it all year round?
Well, some fruits can be harvested at different times. So, but grapes typically would all be harvested all at one time. Yeah.
Very neat too.
I love it.
It's something that you just have to go, because we are starting to get more and more around our area. So you get to go and you get to try the kind of different ways that you guys are all making it into something to enjoy.
Yes.
Right, and that's the good thing, is that it's actually a very cooperative event. The more wineries we have, the better, so that there's a little bit something different for everyone. So we don't see it as competition, we see it as a cooperative relationship.
We could do a vineyard hop there, Chris.
There you go. We
right.
should
We could just
do a
take a
show
little-
from out there one day. And
A little bus from one to the other.
We like party buses. Yeah.
I was making a joke when we were there in the morning. We had dark storm. We had storms coming through, so we were talking about we should have dark storm. You said that one's good with
The
chocolate.
dark currant is a
Dark
black
currant.
currant wine. It's our sweet, fruity, aromatic black currant wine. It's perfect with chocolate.
So our chocolates that Giovanna got us,
there
we
you
should
go.
just drink the wine.
We'll just
and
leave
be
the
good.
bottle.
We'll be good to go for the rest of the day.
So if people want to get a hold of you, have a website, or what can people do?
We do. You can find us on Facebook. Just search 4eWinery. We have a website, and that's the best way to get a hold of us. We'd love to see you out there, people out there.
And
Good
it's
stuff.
It's kind of peaceful out there. You just get
nice.
to kind of sit and enjoy and not have to worry about other things in the world.
You get behind the shelter belts and it's a whole different world. It looks a lot different from the highway. Behind it, it's just paradise.
Yeah.
And do you walk people around the vineyards and the winery?
Oh,
And-
yes.
we can.
We're establishing a natural pocket prairie there as well to restore the natural prairie grasses and flowers.
Nice.
So pretty.
Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank
Good to have you here.
Don't forget that you can go and stop by there. You just take the Castleton exit and they're right smack dab there. Otherwise, you can always look them up online or on Facebook. And we'll have more here on North Dakota Today when we come back.